Thermoregulation is the next topic that we are going to discuss. Thermoregulation is the ability of an organism to keep its body temperature within certain boundaries, even when the surrounding temperature is different. दोबारा देखें, thermoregulation is the ability of an organism to keep its body temperature within certain boundaries, even when the surrounding temperature is very different. मतलब ये है maintenance of the body temperature for the specific reactions that are going to take place, because metabolic reactions are taking place inside the body, and these metabolic reactions, they are taking place in the body because of the presence of special types of enzymes, special types of chemicals. And if the temperature changes, if the temperature becomes very hot or the temperature becomes very cold, then it can create a disorder in the functioning of these hormones and enzymes. Thermoregulation is the ability of an organism to keep its body temperature within certain boundaries, even when the surrounding temperature is very different. Now, this is a short question. Why is temperature regulation important for animals? Temperature regulation is important for animals because in case of high temperature, which is known as hypothermia, hypothermia means increased body temperature. Temperature regulation is important for animals because animals have to control hypothermia. Hypothermia means increased body temperature. If hypothermia is not controlled, then what happens? Why is hypothermia considered dangerous for living organisms? Why is hypothermia considered dangerous for living organisms? Let me go to the board first of all. Let me write down some things for you people on the board. Then we will come back to the presentation again. Okay, hypothermia. We're talking about hypothermia. In hypothermia, what do we mean by hypothermia? Hyper means zyada, hyper means more, hyper means large, and thermia means temperature. That means a high temperature of the body. Now the next question is that why is hyperthermia dangerous? Hyperthermia is dangerous because an increase in temperature is going to affect the working of enzymes. Now, how is an increased temperature going to affect the working of enzymes? Can anybody recall the topic of first year? I need an answer. If you want to speak up, you can raise your hand. I will unmute you people. If you want to speak up, because this is a long answer. How can increase in temperature? Please give me answers quickly. We don't have so much of time that I should keep on waiting for you people. How can increase in temperature affect the working of enzymes? Do we have any answers? Can anybody raise his or her hand and answer the question for me? Yes. Hassan, can you answer the question? Do we have Sikandar and Mahaj in the class today? Okay, let me give you the answer myself if you don't want to speak at present. Increase, okay, yes, I have got an answer. It denatures the enzyme as well because they are temperature sensitive. Very good answer. Very good answer. It denatures the enzyme. It disrupts the active site. What is the function of the active site of enzymes? Now, this is first year. Please give me correct answers. How does it disrupt the active site of the enzyme? It disrupts the active site of enzyme by disturbing the arrangement of the ions that are present on the bonding arrangement and bonding of the active site. And because of that, it completely changes the structure of the active site, and then the enzymes cannot act naturally as they need. ठीक है जी. I have a question over here. Let me see the question. Okay. Substrate act on the active sites. Yes. Now, in the high temperature, when the body becomes, when the body temperature becomes high, that is known as hypothermia. तो फिर क्या होता है? उसमें फिर ये होता है कि आपके enzymes जो हैं, they are affected. Now, let us go back to the presentation again, and then we will come back to the board, and I will write down more things for you people on the board. Classification of animals on the basis of thermoregulation. This is a short question, and you have some questions in MCQs also from this topic, so please pay attention. Two main groups of animals are present on the basis of the maintenance of a constant body temperature. The first one are the poikilotherms. The poikilotherms are actually known as the cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals का मतलब ये नहीं है कि इनका खून ठंडा है. I will tell you why they are known as cold-blooded animals. ठीक है? They are unable to maintain their body temperatures even within a narrow range of changes by physiological means. मतलब ये है any kind of temperature fluctuation from outside. These poikilotherms, these cold-blooded animals, they cannot maintain their temperature. Their metabolic rate, write it down. This is the main keyword. Their metabolic rate is not so high that it can increase the body temperature. That is why when you touch a fish or you touch a frog or a snake or a reptile, they feel cold. Their skin feels cold because their body metabolism is not so high. Lekin they need a specific temperature for metabolic activity. And for this, what do? They borrow heat from the external environment. And externally, when the environments become very cold or very high, that is why the poikilotherms, they go into hibernation. And they hide themselves. They go into hibernation and they hide themselves. Okay, we will discuss this in detail. Homeotherms, these are warm-blooded animals. जिसमें के mammals हैं, aves हैं. They can maintain a stable body temperature by physiological means. Physiological means by simple body processes, by simple body activity. Example, aves and mammals. Poikilotherms are also known as cold, and homeotherms are known as warm-blooded animals. But this is the old classification. According to the new concepts, we classify animals according to the gain of heat, which is from two sources. One source is from the external environment, and one source is generation from inside the body. Animals gain heat from two main sources, and on this basis, animals की मज़ीद भी classification होती है. The chemical reaction of ingested ingredients, that is internal reactions. Then the external environment, especially from the sun. One source is chemical heat from the food that is taken in, heat from the food, and secondly, external environment source from the sun. The extent of generation and conservation of heat varies in different animals. Now, this is the key point. Generation, production, conservation, saving. The extent of generation and conservation of heat varies in different animals. Different animals, different level तक heat को generate करते हैं या conserve करते हैं. ठीक है? On these bases, animals have been classified into two more groups. Now, this is a classification that you must learn, and this is the new classification that you people must understand. Animals can be divided into endotherms and ectotherms based on their temperature regulation. Endotherms, such as birds and mammals, use metabolic heat to maintain a stable internal environment, often one different from the environment. Endotherms, the temperature, the heat is produced inside. Endo, in, therm, heat, inside heat. This is produced by birds and mammals. They come in this category. And how do they do this? It is due to their metabolic activity. The activity of the liver, the activity of the blood, the activity of the muscles, the activity of their body parts. And they maintain a stable internal environment. And that stable internal environment It is not necessary that it should be like the external environment. Often one different from the environment. Okay, endotherms. This is one classification. Endotherms meaning homeotherms, warm-blooded animals. Now the next one is ectotherms. Ectotherms, like lizards and snakes, they do not use metabolic heat to maintain their body temperature. Their body metabolism is not so fast. The body does not produce so much of heat that the body temperature can be brought up to a level. So they need some help from the environment, and they borrow some heat from the environment and then warm up their bodies. In case के कोई टेम्परेचर का ऊपर नीचे बहुत ज्यादा होता है, then what happens? They go into hideouts. इनका क्या होता है कि ये जाके छुप जाते हैं, burrows के अंदर जाके छुप जाते हैं. ठीक है. Thermoregulation strategies in man. This is the next topic that we will be doing. इसमें हमने brain का सारा function पढ़ना है, और इसमें हमने ये देखना है कि how man is going to control the body temperature.